Hello again, garden friends. This is Mickey and Kathy back with you again from Hills Mill Homestead. And we've got a little bit of rain coming in, and it's a perfect time to get our onions picked. We don't want them to get rained on. They're ready. So yeah, that's what we're doing, is we're picking the rest of our onions and getting them laid out and let them dry. Now these are the candy onions. We planted the candy red, and the superstar. And we ordered these from Dixondale's and planted them, I think, in the 3rd week of February. And this is almost the 4th of July. And these onions are ready. That's a good looking onion right there. I think we're going to have enough onions for a few soups, maybe this fall. Maybe this winter if we can keep them long enough. We can store them if they'll dry. Well, we can store them really good. Just pull them right up. Shake a little dirt off of them. Get over here in the tough spot. That's my volunteer tomatoes that came up from our composting, so not sure what those are, but we'll see. They look like little Tommy tomatoes, but we'll have to see about that. I'm going to have to get some help to tote this here in a minute. Those are some good onions. That is a good onion right there. I'm gonna reach halfway around it, so that's probably it's 4 inches across. Let's see what we got over here. That was 5 inches across for sure. Those are sure gonna be some good eating. Voila. I believe that's all of them. Let's carry them on over to our drying table and get them laid out. Y'all come along with us. Well, here's our last basket. I bet there's 30, 40 pounds in this one. Whew. Smell those onions. See our fancy little drying table I made? I took a hog panel, and then I took that little construction plastic fencing and zip tied it to it so it doesn't sag everywhere. And it works pretty good for homemade. I think these candy onions did better as far as size. So next year I'm going to get enough for another row of these. Just so you know, when you're laying these out, they need to have air all around them. And you don't really want the onions touching. The tops, they don't really need to touch, but it's hard for them not to. But every few days you may have to come out here and move these tops around. Anything that's going to touch that onion is going to make it soft. And once it starts getting soft, then it's not going to last but no time at all. You'll have to be eating it right away. A lot of people ask why you lay them out. And the reason you lay them out to dry is because we want to try to keep them as long as we can so we can cook with them all winter and hopefully a little bit past winter. But it just depends on how they're going to dry and how they're going to keep. But we sure have a nice little basket of the small ones, don't we?
Yeah. We've already finished those off by cutting the hairs, the root hairs from one end.
And then cutting the green on the other end. And yes, those are all ready to, actually that whole basket was already dry. We had these laid out where I had picked some earlier. And then like our Kennebec potatoes, not the Kennebec, listen to me, the Pontiac Red, we had already dug those out of our container garden and they had dried. So we had to take them off of our drying table and those are ready to go in the house. But we're having to get our onions up a little bit early. Some of these could have stayed a little bit longer, but it's supposed to rain. And we didn't want them to get rained on and get wet and then pick them. But we've got about 2 weeks and we're going to be digging our Kennebec potatoes. And that's going to be about enough time for these onions to be dried and we can take them in. Then we can use our table again for our other potatoes. Those potatoes look like they're doing pretty good. So hopefully we'll have a good harvest on those also. And then we need to get them out here and let them dry for a few days. Let the skin get a little bit tough. And then they'll be ready to go in the house and see if we can find a cool, dark, dry place for them. And maybe we can have potatoes all the way through the winter and maybe into the spring. It's hard to say. Potatoes are like onions. Sometimes you can keep them, sometimes you can't. It really depends. And if we had an outside freezer, eventually that might be possible one day if we had enough vegetables to fill it up. But these sure are going to be good in all of our soups, chili.
Sliced even on
Oh yeah.
the hamburger. That's what you want to
And
say.
even that basket of the small ones, I like to just eat those whole. Saute them a little bit. A little bit of butter. Yeah, I think my table worked out just right. See, I guesstimated how many square foot I needed, and I hit that. Look at there, it had just hit it just right. Look there, a spot for 2 more onions.
You're pretty good guesstimate.
I'm glad that's over with. Yes, man. But I'll come out here every day or two and kind of toss these around, the green ones, just so they're not going to start getting soft on top of one another. Really, I wish I had a hanging rack. Stay tuned, guys. One of these days I'm going to have me a hanging rack where I pull it up on pulleys, get it up in the air, get it out of the way instead of it taking up so much room. But goodness, we are in Onion Town today.
Show us how you clean those up, babe.
These that are dry,
How do you know they're dry?
they're dry when the tops are just all brown and decayed and bad. We want to cut the roots off. We don't want to cut the skin. We just want to remove those roots. And then you want to stay above the stem just a little bit. And there is your perfect onion. Those are ready to go. So guys, we're glad you stayed with us through the video. Hope you enjoyed it a little bit, learned something about our onions. And we're going to let these dry for probably about 2 weeks, and then we're going to be digging our other potatoes and bringing them out here to dry. And we'll see if we can do a video on that also. And listen, guys, we appreciate your support. All of our viewers send us our comments, and we're constantly answering comments and emails. And we appreciate everyone that's purchased an Electroculture antenna. And we certainly appreciate your support. And thank you for watching. And we will see you on the next video.